right, welcome back. Welcome back to the road trip, Kingdom Builders, Akeem and Akatim, brothers and sisters, mothers, fathers, aunties and uncles, grandmas and grandpas. Everybody in the house, road trippers. That's right. Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings to all of you, your homes, your dwelling places, your loved ones, your friends, your children and your pets, those fur babies, all that stuff that you need in your life, Mishpachah, all that good stuff. That's right. That's right. All right, all praises to the Most High. All praises to Yahweh. That's right. Praises to Yahweh. Glory to Yahweh Shai. And the honors to the Ruach HaKodesh. My love and my respect goes out to each and every single one of you. That's right. Okay. So here we are. Where we at? Where we at? We're in the book of Jasher. That's where we are. It's going to be chapter 43 on this one, starting off chapter 43. It's a long one. So I'm going to tell you right now, we're only going to do 43 and 44 on this read. And that's a stretch, because both of those are very, very long. So we're going to do that. You got a few moments if you want to read along with me. Get your scrolls out with you. Put them on your lap or have them somewhere nearby. All right. No further ado. I'm not going to do a whole lot of dragging on here. We're going to go ahead and get started. All right. Book of Jasher, chapter 43. Let's begin. All right, chapter 43, and it reads, And when the sons of Jacob, Yaakov, had sold their brother Joseph to the Midianites, their hearts were smitten on account of him, and they repented of their acts, and they sought for him to bring him back, but could not find him. They looked for him, they couldn't find him, right? And Reuben returned to the pit in which Joseph had been put in order to lift him out and restore him to his father. And Reuben stood by the pit, and he heard not a word. And he called out, Joseph, Joseph! And no one answered or uttered a word. And Reuben said, Joseph has died through fright, or some serpent has caused his death. And Reuben descended into the pit, and he searched for Joseph, and could not find him in the pit. And he came out again, and Reuben tore his garments, and he said, The child is not there. And how will I reconcile my father about him if he died? If he be dead? And he went to his brethren and found them grieving on account of Joseph, and counseling together how to reconcile their father about him. And Reuben said unto his brethren, I came to the pit, and behold, Joseph was not there. When then will I say unto our father, For my father will only seek the lad from me? And his brethren answered him, saying, Thus and thus we did, and our hearts afterwards smote us on account of the act. And we now sit to seek a pretext how we will reconcile to our father to it. And Reuben said unto them, What is this you have done, to bring down the gray hairs of our father in sorrow to the grave? The thing is not good that you have done. And Reuben sat with them, and they all rose up and swore to each other not to tell this thing unto Yaakov. And they all said, The man who will tell this to our father or the household, or who will report this to any of the children of the land, we will all rise up against him and slay him with the sword. And the sons of Yaakov feared each other in this matter, from the youngest to the oldest, and no one spoke a word, and they concealed the thing in their hearts. And they afterwards sat down to determine and invent something to say unto their father Yaakov concerning all these things. And Issachar said unto them, Here is an advice for you, if it seem good in your eyes to do this thing. Take the coat which belongs to Joseph, and tear it, and kill a kid of the goats, and drip it in its blood, and send it to our father. And when he sees it, he will say, An evil beast has devoured him. Therefore tear you his coat, and behold, his blood will be upon his coat. And by your doing this, we will be free of our father's murmurings. And Issachar's advice pleased him. And they hearkened unto him, and they did according to the word of Issachar, which he had counseled them. And they hastened and took Joseph's coat and tore it. And they killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood of the kid, and then trampled it in the dust. And they sent the coat to their father Jacob, Yaakov, by the hand of Naphtali. And they commanded him to say these words, We had gathered in the cattle, and had come as far as the road to Shechem. And father, when we found this coat upon the road in the wilderness, dipped in blood, and in and in dust. Now therefore, know whether it be your son's coat or not. And Naphtali went, and he came unto his father, and he gave him the coat, and he spoke unto him all the words which his brethren had commanded him. And Yaakov saw Joseph's coat, and he knew it, and he fell upon his face to the ground, and became as still as a stone. And he afterward rose up and cried out with a loud and weeping voice, and he said, It is the coat of my son Joseph. And Yaakov hastened and sent one of his servants to his sons, who went with them, and found them coming along the road with the flock. And the sons of Yaakov came to their father about evening, and behold, their garments were torn, and dust was upon their heads. And they found their father crying out and weeping with a loud voice. And Yaakov said unto his sons, Tell me truly, what evil you have this day suddenly brought upon me? And they answered their father Yaakov, saying, We were coming along this day after the flock had been gathered in. And we came as far as the city of Shechem by the road in the wilderness, and we found this coat filled with blood upon the ground, and we knew it, and we sent unto you, if you could know it. And Yaakov heard the words of his sons, and he cried out with a loud voice, and he said, It is the coat of my son, an evil beast has devoured him. Joseph is rent in pieces. For I sent him this day to see whether it was well with you, and well with the flocks, and to bring me word again from you. And he was sent, and he went. And he went as I commanded him. And this has happened to him this day, while I thought my son was with you. And the sons of Yaakov answered and said, He did not come to us, neither have we seen him from the time of our going out from you until now. And when Yaakov heard their words, he again cried out aloud, and he rose up and tore his garments, and he put sackcloth upon his loins. And he wept bitterly, and he mourned, and lifted up his voice in weeping, and exclaimed, and said these words, Joseph, my son, O my son Joseph, I sent you this day after the welfare of your brethren, and behold, you have been torn in pieces. Through my hand has this happened to my son. It grieves me for you, Joseph, my son, it grieves me for you. How sweet were you to me during life, and now how exceedingly bitter is your death to me. Oh, that I had died in your stead, Joseph, my son. For it grieves me sadly for you, my son. Oh, my son, Joseph, my son, where are you, and where have you been drawn? Arouse from your place, and come and see my grief for you. O my son Joseph, come now, and number the tears gushing from my eyes down my cheeks, and bring them up before the Most High, that his anger may turn from me. O Joseph, my son, how did you fall? By the hand of one by whom no one had fallen from the beginning of the world unto this day. For you have been put to death by the smiting of an enemy, inflicted with cruelty, but surely I know that this has happened to you on account of the multitude of my sins. Arouse now, and see how bitter is my trouble for you, my son, although I did not rear you, nor fashion you, nor give you breath and soul. But it was Yahweh who formed you, and built your bones, and covered them with flesh, and breathed in your nostrils the breath of life. And then he gave you unto me. Now truly Yahweh who gave you unto me, he has taken you from me, and such then has befallen you. And Jacob continued to speak like unto these words concerning Joseph, and he wept bitterly. He fell to the ground and became still. And all the sons of Yaakov, seeing their father's trouble, they repented of what they had done, and they also wept bitterly. And Judah rose up and lifted his father's head from the ground, and placed it upon his lap, and he wiped his father's tears from his cheeks. And Judah wept an exceedingly great weeping, while his father's head was reclining upon his lap, still as a stone. And the sons of Yaakov saw their father's trouble, and they lifted up their voices and continued to weep. And Yaakov was yet lying upon the ground, still as a stone. And all his sons and his servants' children rose up and stood round him to comfort him, and he refused to be comforted. And the whole household of Yaakov rose up and mourned a great mourning on account of Joseph and their father's trouble. And the intelligence reached Isaac, the son of Abraham, the father of Jacob, and he wept bitterly on account of Joseph, he and all his household. And he went from that place where he dwelt in Hebron, and his men with him. And he comforted Jacob his son, Yaakov, and he refused to be comforted. And after this Yaakov rose up from the ground, and his tears were running down his cheeks. And he said unto his sons, Rise up and take your swords and your bows, and go out into the field, and seek whether you can find my son's body, and bring it unto me, that I may bury it. Seek also, I pray you, among the beasts, and hunt them. And that which will come the first before you seize and bring it to me. Perhaps the Most High will this day pity my affliction, and prepare before you that which did tear my son in pieces, and bring it unto me, and I will avenge the cause of my son. And his sons did as their father had commanded them, and they rose up early in the morning, and each took his sword and his bow in his hand, and they went out into the field to hunt the beasts. 39, and it reads, And Jacob was still crying aloud and weeping and walking to and fro in the house and smiting his hands together, saying, Joseph my son, Joseph my son. And the sons of Yaakov went into the wilderness to seize the beast, and behold, a wolf came toward them, and they seized him, and brought him into their father's house, into their father. And they said unto him, This is the first we had found, and we have brought him into you, as you did command us, and your son's body we could not find. And Yaakov took the beast from the hands of his sons, and he cried out with a loud and weeping voice, holding the beast in his hands, and he spoke with a bitter heart unto the beast, Why did you devour my son Joseph, and how did you have no fear of the Most High of the earth, or of my trouble for my son Joseph? And you did devour my son for naught, because he committed no violence, and did thereby render me culpable on this account. Therefore Yahweh will require him that is persecuted. And the Most High opened the mouth of the beast in order to comfort Jacob with his words. And it answered Yaakov, and spoke these words unto him, As Yahweh lives, who created us in the earth, and as your soul lives, my Adon, I did not see your son. I did not see your son, neither did I tear him in pieces. But from a distant land I also came to seek my son, who went from me this day. And I know not whether he be living or dead. And I came this day into the field to seek my son. And your sons found me, and seized me, and increased my grief, and have this day brought me before you. And I have now spoken all my words to you. And now therefore, O son of man, I am in your hands, and do unto me this day as it may seem good in your sight. But by the life of Yahweh, who created me, I did not see your son, nor did I tear him to pieces. Neither has the flesh of man entered my mouth all the days of my life. And when Yaakov heard the words of the beast, he was greatly astonished, and sent out the beast from his hand, and she went her way. And Yaakov was still crying aloud and weeping for Joseph day after day, and he mourned for his son many days. That's the end of chapter 43. All right, and we're going to continue on. We're going to continue, and we're going to get chapter 44 to finish this one up total. All right, that's going to be good if we package those two together. It's kind of long. All right, keep your scrolls out. Let's get ready to get 44. Let me get a drink of water. Let's begin. All right, Mishpachah, chapter 44, and it reads, And the sons of Ishmael who had bought Joseph from the Midianites, who had bought him from his brethren, went to Mizraim with Joseph, and they came upon the borders of Mizraim. And when they came near unto Mizraim, they met 4 men of the sons of Medan, and the sons of Abraham, who had gone out from the land of Mizraim on their journey. And the Ishmaelites said unto them, Do you desire to purchase this slave from us? And they said, Deliver him over to us. And they delivered Joseph over to them, and they beheld him, and that he was very comely youth, and they purchased him for 20 shekels. And the Ishmaelites continued their journey to Mizraim. And the Medanim also returned that day to Mizraim. And the Medanim said to each other, Behold, we have heard that Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, seeks a good servant who will stand before him to attend him, and to make him overseer over his house and all belonging to him. Now therefore, come, let us sell him to him for what we may desire, if he be able to give us unto us that which we will require for him. And these Medanim went and came to the house of Potiphar, and said unto him, We have heard that you seek a good servant to attend you. Behold, we have a servant that will please you. If you can give unto us that which we may desire, and we will sell him unto you. And Potiphar said, Bring him before me, and I will see him. And if he pleases me, I will give unto you that which you may require for him. And the Medanim went and brought Joseph, and placed him before Potiphar. And he saw him, and he pleased him exceedingly. And Potiphar said unto him, Tell me what you require for this youth. And they said, 400 pieces of silver we desire for him. And Potiphar said, I will give it to you, if you bring me the record of his sale to you, and will tell me his history. For perhaps he may be stolen. For this youth is neither a slave nor the son of a slave, but I observe in him the appearance of a goodly and handsome person. And the Medanim went and brought unto him the Ishmaelites who had sold him to them. And they told him, saying, He is a slave, and we sold him to them. And Potiphar heard the words of the Ishmaelites in his giving the silver unto the Medanim. And the Medanim took the silver and went on their journey. And the Ishmaelites also returned home. And Potiphar took Joseph and brought him to his house, that he might serve him. And Joseph found favor in the sight of Potiphar, and he placed confidence in him, and made him overseer over his house. And all that belonged to him he delivered over into his hand. And the Most High Yahweh was with Joseph, and he became a prosperous man. And the Most High Yahweh blessed the house of Potiphar for the sake of Joseph. And Potiphar left all that he had in the hand of Joseph, and Joseph was one that caused things to come in and and go out, and logistics. Everything was regulated by his wish in the house of Potiphar. And Joseph was 18 years old, a youth with beautiful eyes and a comely appearance, and like unto him was not in the whole land of Mizraim. At that time, while he was in the master's house, going in and out of the house, and attending his master, Zelicah, his master's wife, lifted up her eyes toward Joseph, and she looked at him, and behold, he was a youth comely and well favored. And she coveted his beauty in her heart, and her soul was fixed upon Joseph, and she enticed him day after day. And Zelicah persuaded Joseph daily, but Joseph did not lift up his eyes to behold his master's wife. And Zelicah said unto him, How goodly are your appearance and form! Truly I have looked at all the slaves, and have not seen so beautiful a slave as you are. And Joseph said unto her, Surely he who creates me in my mother's womb created all mankind. And she said unto him, How beautiful are your eyes, with which you have dazzled all the inhabitants of Mizraim, men and women. And he said unto her, How beautiful they are while we are alive. But should you behold them in a grave, surely you would move away from them. And she said unto him, How beautiful and pleasing are all your words. Take now, I pray you, the harp which is in the house, and play with your hands, and let us hear your words. And he said unto her, How beautiful and pleasing are my words, when I speak the praise of my Elohiah and his glory. And she said unto him, How beautiful is the hair of your head. Behold, the golden comb which is in the house. Take it, I pray you, and curl the hair of your head. And he said unto her, How long will you speak these words? Cease to utter these words to me, and rise and attend to your domestic affairs. And she said unto him, There is no one in my house, and there is nothing to attend to but your words and to your wish. Yet notwithstanding all this, she could not bring Joseph unto her, neither did he place his eye upon her, but directed his eye below to the ground. And Zelicah desired Joseph in her heart, that he should lie with her. And at the time that Joseph was sitting in the house doing his work, Zelicah came and sat before him, and she enticed him daily with her discourse to lie with her, or even to look at her. But Joseph would not hearken to her. And she said unto him, If you will not do according to my words, I will chastise you with the punishment of death, and put an iron yoke upon you. And Joseph said unto her, Surely Yahweh who created man loosens the fetters of prisoners, and it is he who will deliver me from your prison and from your judgment. And when she could not prevail over him to persuade him, and her soul being still fixed upon him, her desire threw her into a grievous sickness. And all the women of Mizraim came to visit her, and they said unto her, Why are you in this declining state? You that lack nothing, surely your husband is a great and esteemed prince in the sight of the king. Should you lack anything of what your heart desires? And Zelicah answered them, saying, This day it will be made known to you from where this disorder springs in which you see me. And she commanded her maidservants to prepare food for all the women, and she made a banquet for them. And all the women ate in the house of Zelicah. And she gave them knives to peel the citrons to eat them. And she commanded that they should dress Joseph in costly garments, and that he should appear before them. And Joseph came before their eyes, and all the women looked on Joseph, and could not take their eyes off from him. And they all cut their hands with the knives that they had in their hands, and all the citrons that were in their hands were filled with blood. And they knew not what they had done, but they continued to look at the beauty of Joseph, and did not turn their eyelids from him. And Zelicah saw what they had done, and she said unto them, What is this work that you have done? Behold, I gave you citrons to eat, and you have all cut your hands. And all the women saw their hands, and behold, they were full of blood, and their blood flowed down upon their garments. And they said unto her, This slave in your house has overcome us, and we could not turn our eyelids from him on account of his beauty. And she said unto them, Surely this happened to you in the moment that you looked at him, and you could not contain yourselves from him. How then can I refrain when he is constantly in my house, and I see him day after day going in and out from my house? How then can I keep from declining, or even from perishing on account of this? And they said unto her, The words are true, for who can see this beautiful form in the house and refrain from him? And is he not your slave, an attendant in your house? And why do you not tell him that which is in your heart, and suffer your soul to perish through this matter? Oh my gosh. So basically, just interjecting. So basically, Joseph was so handsome and comely that literally it drove women insane. Like, the women were cutting their hands by mistake, not paying attention to what they're doing. All of them. Not just a few, all of the women of Egypt, of Mizraim. That's pretty wild, right? All right, 35, and it reads, And she said unto them, I am daily endeavoring to persuade him, and he will not consent to my wishes. And I promised him everything that is good, and yet I could meet with no return from him. I am therefore in a declining state, as you see. And Zelicah became very ill on account of her desire toward Joseph, and she was desperately lovesick on account of him. And all the people of the house of Zelicah and her husband knew nothing of this matter, that Zelicah was ill on account of her love to Joseph. And all the people of the house asked her, saying, Why are you ill and declining, and lacking nothing? And she said unto them, I know not this thing which is daily increasing upon me. And all the women and her friends came daily to see her, and they spoke with her. And she said unto them, This can only be through the love of Joseph. And they said unto her, Entice him, and seize him secretly, perhaps he may hearken to you, and put off this death from you. And Zelicah became worse from her love to Joseph, and she continued to decline, until she had scarce strength to stand. Wow. And on a certain day, Joseph was doing his master's work in the house, and Zelicah came secretly and fell suddenly upon him. And Joseph rose up against her, and he was more powerful than she, and he brought her down to the ground. And Zelicah wept on account of the desire of her heart towards him. And she supplicated him with weeping, and her tears flowed down her cheeks. And she spoke unto him in a voice of supplication, and in bitterness of soul, saying, Have you ever seen or known of so beautiful a woman as I am, or better than myself, who speak daily unto you, fall into a decline through love of you? Confer all this honor upon you, and still you will not hearken to my voice. And if it be through fear of your master, lest he punish you, as the kings lives, no harm will come to you from master through this thing. Now, therefore, pray listen to me, consent for the sake of the honor which I have conferred upon you, and put off this death from me. And why should I die for your sake? And she ceased to speak. Wow, that's a pushy woman right there. 44. And Joseph answered her, saying, Refrain from me, and leave this matter to my master. Behold, my master knows not what there is with me in the house, for all that belongs to him he has delivered into my hand. And how will I do these things in my master's house? For he has also greatly honored me in the house. And he has also made me overseer over his house, and he has exalted me, and there is no one greater in the house than I am. And my master has refrained nothing from me, excepting you, who are his wife. How then can you speak these words unto me? And how can I do this great evil and sin to Yahweh and to your husband? Now therefore refrain from me, and speak no more such words as these, for I will not hearken to your words. But Zelicah would not hearken to Joseph when he spoke these words unto her, but she daily enticed him to listen to her. And it was after this that the brook of Mizraim was filled above all its sides, and all the inhabitants of Mizraim went out. And also the king and princes went out with timbrels and dances, for it was a great rejoicing in Mizraim, and a holiday at the time of the inundation of the sea, Sihor, and they went there to rejoice all day long. And when the Egyptians went out to the river to rejoice, as was their custom, all the people of the house of Potiphar went with them, but Zelicah would not go with them, for she said, I am indisposed. And she remained alone in the house, and no other person was with her in the house. And she rose up and ascended to her temple in the house, and dressed herself in princely garments. And she placed upon her head precious stones of onyx stones, inlaid with silver and gold. And she beautified her face and skin with all sorts of women's purifying liquids, and she perfumed the temple and the house with cassia and frankincense, and she spread myrrh and aloes, as she afterwards sat in the entrance of the temple, in the passage of the house through which Joseph passed to do his work. And behold, Joseph came from the field, and entered the house to do his master's work. And he came to the place through which he had to pass, and he saw all the work of Zelicah, and he turned back. And Zelicah saw Joseph turning back from her, and she called out to him, saying, What ails you, Joseph? Come to your work, and behold, I will make room for you until you have passed to your seat. And Joseph returned and came to the house, and passed from there to the place of his seat. And he sat down to do his master's work as usual. And behold, Zelicah came to him, and stood before him in princely garments, and the scent from her clothes was spread to a distance. She hastened and caught hold of Joseph in his garments. And she said unto him, As the king lives, if you will not perform my request, you will die this day. And she hastened and stretched out her other hand, and drew a sword from beneath her garments, and she placed it upon Joseph's neck. And she said, Rise and perform my request, and if not, you die this day. And Joseph was afraid of her at her doing this thing, and he rose up to flee from her, and she seized the front of his garments, and in the terror of his flight, the garment which Zelicah seized was torn, and Joseph left the garment in the hand of Zelicah, and he fled and got out, for he was in fear. And when Zelicah saw that Joseph's garment was torn, and that he had left it in her hand, and had fled, she was afraid of her life, lest the report should spread concerning her. And she rose up and acted with cunning, and put off the garments in which she was dressed, and she put on her other garments. And she took Joseph's garments, and she laid it beside her, and she went and seated herself in the place where she had sat in her illness, before the people of the house had gone out to the river. And she called a young lad who was then in the house, and she ordered him to call the people to the house to her. And when she saw them, she said unto them with a loud voice in lamentation, See what a Hebrew your master has brought to me in the house? For he came this day to lie with me. For when you had gone out, he came to the house, and seeing that there was no person in the house, he came unto me, and caught hold of me, with intent to lie with me. And I seized his garments, and tore them, and called out against him with a loud voice. And when I had lifted up my voice, he was afraid for his life, and left his garment before me, and fled. And the people of her house spoke nothing, but their wrath was very much kindled against Joseph. And they went to his master and told him the words of his wife. And Potiphar came home enraged, and his wife cried out to him, saying, What is this thing that you have done unto me, in bringing a Hebrew servant into my house? For he came unto me this day to sport with me. Thus did he do unto me this day. And Potiphar heard the words of his wife, and he ordered Joseph to be punished with severe stripes, and they did so to him. And while they were smiting him, Joseph called out with a loud voice, and he lifted up his eyes to heaven, and he said, O Yahweh Most High, you know that I am innocent of all these things, and why will I die this day through falsehood by the hand of these uncircumcised wicked men, whom you know? And while Potiphar's men were beating Joseph, he continued to cry out and weep. And there was a child there 11 months old, and the Most High opened the mouth of the child, and he spoke these words before Potiphar's men, who were smiting Joseph, saying, What do you want from this man? And why do you do this evil unto him? My mother speaks falsely and utters lies. Thus was the transaction. And the child told them accurately all that happened, and all the words of Zelicah to Joseph day after day did he declare unto them. And all the men heard the words of the child, and they wondered greatly at the child's words. And the child ceased to speak and became still. And Potiphar was very much ashamed at the words of his son, and he commanded his men not to beat Joseph any more. And the men ceased beating Joseph. And Potiphar took Joseph and ordered him to be brought to justice before the priests, who were judges belonging to the king, in order to judge him concerning this affair. Verse 70. And Potiphar and Joseph came before the priests, who were the king's judges, and he said unto them, Decide, I pray you, what judgment is due to a servant, for thus has he done. And the priest said unto Joseph, Why did you do this thing to your master? And Joseph answered them, saying, Not so, my add-ons. Thus was the matter. And Potiphar said unto Joseph, Surely I entrusted in your hands all that belonged to me, and I withheld nothing from you but my wife. And how could you do this evil? And Joseph answered, saying, Not so, my add-on. As the Most High lives, and as your soul lives, my add-on, the word which you did hear from your wives is untrue. For thus was the affair this day. A year has elapsed to me since I have been in your house. Have you seen any iniquity in me, or anything which might cause you to demand my life? And the priest said unto Potiphar, Send, we pray you, and let them bring before us Joseph's torn garment, and let us see the tear in it. And if it will be that the tear is in front of the garment, then his face must have been opposite to her, and she must have caught hold of him to come to her. And with deceit did your wife do all that she has spoken. And they brought Joseph's garment before the priest, who were judges, and they saw, and behold, the tear was in front of Joseph. And all the judging priests knew that she had pressed him. And they said, The judgment of death is not due to this slave, for he has done nothing, but his judgment is that he be placed in the prison house on account of the report which through him has gone out against your wife. And Potiphar heard these words, and he placed him in the prison house, and the place where the king's prisoners were confined. And Joseph was in the house of confinement 12 years. Now, notwithstanding this, his master's wife did not turn from him, and she did not cease from speaking to him day after day to hearken to her. And at the end of 3 months, Zelicah continued going to Joseph to the house of confinement day by day, and she enticed him to hearken to her. And Zelicah said unto Joseph, How long will you remain in this house? But hearken now to my voice, and I will bring you out of this house. And Joseph answered her, saying, It is better for me to remain in this house than to hearken to your words, to sin against Yahweh. And she said unto him, If you will not perform my wish, I will pluck out your eyes, add fetters to your feet, and will deliver you into the hands of them whom you did not know before. And Joseph answered her and said, Behold, the Elohim, the Elohiah of the whole earth, is able to deliver me from all that you can do unto me. For he opens the eyes of the blind, and loosens those that are bound, and preserves all strangers who are unacquainted with the land. And when Zelicah was unable to persuade Joseph to hearken to her, she left off going to entice him. And Joseph was still confined in the house of confinement. And Jacob, Yaakov, the father of Joseph, and all his brothers who were in the land of Canaan still mourned and wept in those days on account of Joseph. For Yaakov refused to be comforted for his son Joseph. And Yaakov cried aloud and wept and mourned all those days. And that's the end of chapter 44. All right, so we got 43 and 44. We could get 45, but no, we're going to leave 45 for the next one. That'd be a fun one to start off with on the next one, all right? That's right, Mishpachah. Okay. Moving right along, all right? So we're about almost halfway through the book of Jasher, right? Safar HaYashar, that's right, correct. Once we finish this up, we got to start looking for some more scrolls to read, because we can't go back to the New Testament yet. That finishes everything up. Once we finish Revelation and we say Amen, so let it be at the end, that's the end of the road trip, right? So we have to save that for last, because once I say Amen, I can't go back and do more. I got to make this proper, right? Start strong, finish strong. Anyway, thanks for riding along with me, family and friends. Mishpachah, you know what I mean to say. All right. Shalom, shalom. Peace and blessings to all of you, your homes, your dwelling places, all that good stuff that you need in your life, kingdom builders. That's right, road trippers. So I'll see you soon on the next one, right? In the meantime, stay safe out there. Please be safe. Do something really kind for someone else. Step outside of your comfort zone, right? Be an angel or a saint for somebody else today. All right? Cool. Deal? That's right. All praises to the Most High. All praises to Yahweh. I love y'all. See you soon. Yeah.